Hello again, everyone! This is your favourite vampire, lycan, flying spaghetti monster intermediary, B. Harper, and I come to you again with another book review. Today I'm going to be looking at Assassin's Creed Brotherhood by Oliver Bowden, and it is the second chapter in the Ezio Auditore series, and the third chapter in the Assassin's Creed games. Yeah. So, without further ado, I'm going to read the back blurb of the book, and then we're going to go right into the review. Here we go. Rome, once mighty, lies in ruins. The city swarms with suffering and degradation, her citizens living in the shadow of the ruthless Borgia family. Only one man can free the people from the Borgia tyranny, Ezio Auditore, the master assassin. Ezio's quest will test him to his limits. Cesare Borgia, a man more villainous and dangerous than his father the Pope, will not rest until he has conquered Italy. And in such treacherous times, conspiracy is everywhere, even within the ranks of the Brotherhood itself. What fun! Okay, so as per usual, this review will have no spoilers and it won't go into the more intimate details of the story, but nonetheless, I just want to give you a little bit of background of what's happening here. So, in Assassin's Creed 2, as well as Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Ezio runs afoul of a very dangerous and supremely deep conspiracy, and it all comes back to the ringleader, shall we say, and the ringleader is Rodrigo Borgia. Yes, the patriarch of the Borgia family, one of the greatest asshole collectives in human history. Seriously, the Borgias were a whole bunch of pieces of work, but that's a completely different discussion for another time. But once again, when you give a historical fiction slash speculative fiction, a more historically accurate backdrop, it always adds a special sense of flavour to it. So Ezio finds himself being pitted up against Cesare Borgia, and the blurb is not lying. Cesare Borgia, Rodrigo's son, he is a monster. He really, really is. You see, Cesare has enormous ambitions, and he will stop at nothing to see them realised. He doesn't necessarily believe in the bigger picture than Rodrigo did, because what Rodrigo wanted to do was to get a piece of Eden and use that to usher in the new age. But Cesare doesn't think of it that way. The way he wants to do things is through domination and subjugation, okay? He wants to rule with an iron fist. Might is right. I am right all the time. Blah, 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 usual sort of tyrant bullshit. So Ezio finds himself being completely tossed out of a loop when he finds his entire life being thrown upside down again by Cesare. So events lead him back to Rome, and Rome has become a cesspit. The people are poor, they're starving, they're dying in the streets. Children are just they're being abandoned by their families, either because their parents are dead or, it's a really horrendous state of affairs. That's basically what I'm saying here. And the Borgias have just been exploiting the people and just dominating each and every person within the province. So Ezio basically needs to liberate Rome as well as get rid of the Borgia family for good. And based off all the character moments in Assassin's Creed 2 when it comes to Ezio, this is definitely a continuation from it. You see, in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, the game, it picks off directly where the first, or rather the second game left off, within minutes of it happening. So it's basically, Ezio, he's gone through a massive change. He's older, he's wiser, he's far more savvy towards the world, and he has taken on the serious responsibility of being a mentor for the assassins. And this pretty much echoes that very same notion in this book. Ezio is not the man he used to be, not by a long shot. He's starting to take far more responsibility for his actions, and now he has a whole bunch of other assassins to take care of. He is gradually becoming the Grand Master, as it were. You have a Master Assassin, and then you have, the big boss types of assassins, and that's basically what Ezio is essentially becoming. But at the same time, this whole story also shows his hesitation as to what he is doing is worth it. Yes, he wants to help the people of Rome and by extension all of humanity, but he finds himself getting a crisis of confidence when it comes to facing Cesare Borgia. Both of these men are incredibly powerful, Cesare and Ezio. And even though their methods are very, very different and their personalities are way incompatible with each other, they still have somewhat similar aims. But Cesare is far more tyrannical in doing it. So what I like about this book is that it really does show Ezio's journey, or rather a continuation of the journey that he started in Assassin's Creed 2. In Assassin's Creed 2, his work was only just beginning. And as somebody who has played the game Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I also got to say, even though I love Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood still has a very soft place in my heart. There really is nothing like, liberating Rome from the Borgia towers. In the games, I'm sorry, I shouldn't go this far into it, but I'm just going to say here, in the games, Ezio has to destroy monuments of the Borgia towers, and every time he does that, he's able to liberate another section of Rome, and he's able to rebuild it and just bring up the prosperity and make sure the people are well looked after. That's pretty much what happens in this book. But the thing that separates a book from a game is the fact that a game is something that's meant to be immersive. It is something that is supposed to put you in the driver's seat. But with a book, it is more or less literature. You read a passage and you go on. So you can't exactly have all of that, more economical stuff going on in the book, because it'll just be boring, for lack of a better term. But what matters here, once again, is the character and everything he goes through. So Ezio has found himself in this situation, and all he can do is do what he feels is right. And for lack of a better term, that is exactly what he does. The Borgia family are a bunch of power-hungry assholes. That's what they are. Rodrigo, Cesare, and Lucrezia Borgia. Lucrezia is Cesare's sister and the daughter of Rodrigo. And there's this huge incestuous undertone going on here. You see, Cesare and Lucrezia are together, and it's just so goddamn wrong. And I find also that Ezio has found himself in the company of his mother and his sister. They are the only surviving members of his family. So it's somewhat fascinating that Ezio has a close but still healthy relationship with his sister, Claudia, but Cesare has a very unhealthy relationship with his sister, Lucrezia. Like I said, these guys are kind of the same, but still very, very different. So what else can I say here? Well, once again, this book is served so well by Bowden's prose and his understanding of the historical period. The Renaissance, like I said, is completely ideal for a sweeping epic like this. It somewhat reminds me of the historical backdrop for Gone with the Wind, like the Civil War, and it just keeps on going on, and it really does emphasize the mores of the time, like breaking free of the old constructs and making your own new world. That is pretty much what Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is about. Ezio used to be isolated, he used to be on his own, but now he has assassins who work for him. And a family of assassins, if you will. And it's just really cool that even though his past is tragic and he's not exactly living the dream as it is, he is still making the best of what he has. He is grateful for his life, he is grateful for his family, or rather what's left of it, he's grateful for his skills, and he's grateful for the fact that he has managed to rise above just being the bloodthirsty, vengeful creature that he started out in AC2 as. It's pretty cool. Just in general terms of the story itself, I do like how it just keeps on progressing Ezio's story. There's really nothing worse than having a book that just continuously swallows its own tail. It needs to go somewhere. And that's what this book does. Towards the end, it does get somewhat drawn out because, Ezio gets into trouble and it involves his sister and that sort of stuff. But I would much rather see something like that than to have Ezio end up being in the very same position that he started out in. it's a catch-22, but it really isn't that much of a sin per se. But you know, that's just me. That's just me. So I would give Assassin's Creed Brotherhood a 3.5 out of 5. A worthy continuation of a worthy saga, and a fantastic character-based journey when it comes to Ezio. Could it have done with a little more detail and a little more action? Sure. But the fact of the matter is, having Ezio interact with this world, as well as Leonardo da Vinci and Machiavelli and, you know, the Borgia family, it just adds so much flavour to the story. It's amazing what you can do when you just, like, you know, tweak time just a little bit and incorporate a fictional character into it. I like that. I really do. So, thank you very much, guys, for listening to me ramble, and once again, I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.